Valerie Hill, Rachel Albert, Marty Cox.
Tonight's first case purpose of this vote. 61. Filed by and is requesting a variance. Basically, hearing testimony. At this time. Do you swear or affirm to tell yes, state your name and recognize chair speak.
Applicant is on Middletown Road. Property is located in the northwest quarter, further described as being part of section 4, town 3, range 4 east, Sherman Township, Montgomery County. Total of 150. Effort has been made to address the conditions set forth in Article 4 of the current. You will note the format of this. 0.02. Accordance with Article 4, Section 404.0, published in the Birmingham Press. Actually published on 9 because they also published on the 5th, and it was sent to residents on May. Applicant survey, lead, plot plan, copy of deed, information, all has been submitted. Special conditions. This property contains a total of 152.080. Currently a house and some outbuildings on this property. Owner is requesting that there be 3 tracts made with frontage on Germantown, Middletown. Frontage for the 3 tracts would vary. Tract 1 will be 55.087 acres, landlocked, but it will have an easement. Tract 2 will be 65.698 acres, having 300 frontage, but it is mixed zoned in the R1 district. Tract 3 will be 31.156 acres, have 122.5 feet of frontage. This tract contains the current house. Tract 1 needs a variance of 450 feet and an easement. Tract 3. Tract 3 needs a variance of 327.5 feet. This land is being split for estate planning, areas for agricultural use, not change as part of this. Applicants are requesting a variance. This is according to Article 8, Section lesser frontage than requires as follows. Lots 8 acres or more are required to have 400. The remaining land will continue to be farmed as is present and will not look or physical character of the property. Application. To authorize on appeals and specific such variances from the terms of this zoning resolution as will not be contrary to the public interest, where owning special conditions of the land, for example, irregular shaped lots having the required area, a lot of exceptional topography, or an exceptionally narrow, shallow, or irregular lot existing, and of record at the time of the passage of the zoning resolution. A literal enforcement of the provisions of the zoning resolution might result in unnecessary hardship. In granting such variances, the Board of Zoning Appeals shall prescribe appropriate conditions and safeguards to maintain conformity with the zoning resolution. Public health, safety. By allowing this variance, it will not affect the public health, safety, or morals of the residents or affect the residents at all. Other parcels of land in this area are of same likeness in size and intensity. Several lots throughout the township do not meet the present frontage requirements. In no way cause any harm to the health, safety, or morals. For health and safety, there is adequate area for an emergency vehicle should there be a need to respond. Spirit and intent of the zoning resolution. Article 4 was written for the applicant did not create this original parcel. The applicant is not proposing to change the use or character of the land. These new parcels will continue to be farmed as they are currently. The nature of the area in which this property is located is a mixture of agricultural uses. Variance of this nature will allow the applicant to continue farming this land and also help the estate planning of the land. The applicant's request is concurrent with other primary at this time. In conclusion, staff feels the criteria of section 405 has been satisfied in this case. A variance of this nature will not change the use. What is currently being farmed will remain being farmed in the future. This variance is by action of the applicant, but other factors may without doing any or altering the resident. Should the board approve this variance, the request for conditional use lot split follow the hearing. Respectfully, President Hammer, Planning Administrator Jones.
Should be there.
I'm having a hard time hearing everybody. My name's Mike Novine, work with Burkhardt Engineering. Address of 28 North Cherry Street, Germantown, Ohio. And we've been working with the owner and applicant as an applicant for the proposed lot split planning for the variance hearing and conditional use. And okay.
Swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Say, if so, I do.
I do.
I do. Okay, continue.
The owners had approached us to prepare the survey for the splits for the variance for the estate planning purposes, and we had done so under their direction on how they wanted their limitations, obviously, to the property as it exists, and we respectfully request approval of the variances.
to make on this survey map? Completed your testimony.
I have a bad cell connection. What do you need?
Ask him to come to the next meeting. Maybe we should ask him to come to the next meeting. So maybe we should ask him to come to the next meeting so he can testify here in person when everybody can hear.
Getting a good connection here.
I think that seems like the. Sure, everybody understands what's happening.
If you understand what we're saying, we're not getting a good connection, or not, you need to come in. I think what,
There's a voice caller number for this hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
what's that?
Yes.
I'll try to call in directly to the voice call in and see if I get a better connection. I'll be back in just a minute.
I don't know, we've got a lot of people here waiting for some other cases. I mean, if he wants to do this later, we'll just bump it to the end.
You understand that? We have 2 other cases, so we can do those in person tonight.
And I'll make a motion to move this case to the end so that we can take care of the cases that are pertinent to the people who came in attendance in person. Second.
Favor say
Aye.
coming in at the end of
He was gonna try to call in. Let me say. My impression was when Pete asked if people want to testify, there were not people in the audience who cared about that case, but based upon the looks that I got, there might be. So I just want, if there are a lot of people in the room who care about this case, we could talk about it now. If they're not, it's just hard for us. We're trying to be respectful, everyone. Figure that.
So how is it gonna move forward then, as far as this case? Percent of us are here for this case.
Were any of you planning to talk?
I was under the,
That at some point there will be a vote. Pete asked earlier if there were going to be anyone who was going to talk here, and nobody raised about the case, and nobody raised their hand.
I understand. Curious about that, like, so as far as tabling it, it would be later on to, like, today? Different.
Well, that's what we decided to do a few minutes ago when we thought that there weren't a lot of people in here. Case. How many people are here about that particular case? Maybe I should majority of it. Pete, I'll leave it up to you.
question. What is the answer? My name's Sean Guffey. My mother's Donna Guffey. What specific questions were you looking for? Mike did the survey. What was you looking for extra?
Well, nothing in particular. I mean, sometimes people come and speak in favor of this. Sometimes people come and speak against it, and those are the people who generally live nearby. And it's important for us to hear what people think about that.
I would like to know more about what exactly is going on. It seems like a lot of that some of us maybe itself don't fully understand, and like to know exactly what's going on. I understand what zoning is, but don't exactly understand where these tracks are going to be. I don't, questions like that. I think maybe Sean would know more about what's going on, if possibly help with questions like that, like exactly what's happening.
Can I have your name, sir?
My name is Jacob Howerton.
The point is, the applicant for a presentation.
Yes.
And a lot of questions would want to speak. But not be a.
Thank you.
So just.
This is Mike Novine. I finally got the call in to work.
My question is,
Right now, we can see if we can understand them.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to him a little bit?
You speak now on the phone.
What specifically would you like me to present to the board?
Whatever evidence you.
Your audio is very, very faint. I'm having a hard time catching what you're saying.
You presented a map. Do you have any comments you want to make on this map?
The map is the results of the field survey and represented the property, prior to any of the changes that are requested. The proposed lot sizes and access are what exists as far as for the access and what the owner wants to pursue relative to the estate planning.
Mike, hold on one second. We've got a procedural issue. Move to address the initial, this 6-1 that we previously tabled. Here stays. I made a motion.
Yep. Seconds.
He has some smartness.
Mike, you can continue.
Hear that? Can you continue?
No, I heard it. I heard it. Very, very little. I heard. Mike, did you hear that? That's about all I've been able to hear.
Go ahead and continue with your testimony, please.
You know, the property accesses as it is currently. There's just a proposed split for the estate planning that the owner wants to put in place. The property, you know, as access right now is not able to meet any of the frontage requirements for the property in and of itself, even if it was one continuous property. So the variance for the splits are needed to, you know, continue to allow the property to be passed on to the family for future farm use and occupancy of the residents.
The only mic you have is apparently the starfish. That's not green or heat. Mic's not working. That means it's not working. Apparently weren't useless. This is your mic. Yes, so you have to speak up loudly. Should be green there. Not sure where it's getting. Not sure how you're being heard.
Maybe Deb's, Deb's. Let's talk about that.
Okay, that's Deb's laptop is the only microphone. So you have to speak very loudly, especially from this side of the room, or anyone who stands here or keep your voice. You're soft spoken. Here they probably can barely.
Should response be?
Michael, can you hear us now?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay. Do you have any more testimony you'd like to give?
I'll answer any questions you may have. I do not have any further testimony.
Anybody here have questions?
Where does the easement run through that you're asking for? I don't see that on your survey.
The first part of the easement runs through the existing panhandle, and then there's an existing driveway that goes up in between the two halves of the pasture, which split the parcel 1 and parcel 2. And that's where the access easement just continues along that existing drive. There's a separate legal description for the easement that will be recorded as well.
Gotcha, thank you.
How long is the current driveway to the existing house?
I don't have that specific dimension with me. It's probably around 300 feet or so.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
and uses the current driveway partially. That makes sense.
Opposed?
Does the easement use the current driveway? Is that what you said earlier?
A portion of the easement, the easement's written in two parts. It's written in one part as a meets and bounds, which covers the entire panhandle that runs down to the road. And then there's a portion that's described as a center line easement from the end of that panhandle up through to the parcel 1 property line.
Any other question? At this point, we'll suspend his testimony. And at this time, anybody that would like to speak in favor of this applicant's, please raise your hand, indicate you want to speak. Anybody in opposition?
No, hold on,
Are
there's a-
you in favor?
Yeah.
Come up to the podium, please. State your name and address.
Sean Guppy, 132 East Center Street, Germantown.
You weren't sworn in, were you?
No.
Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, proceed.
The property's not changing one bit. As agricultural, it's just being split in 3 ways. There is a driveway comes off the main road, which will be an easement going up there to all 3 sections. There's only one little section, the top left is 55 acres. That's going to be basically landlocked. That's why the easement's there to go all the way back to the north part of the paper, all the way into the woods. So now that's a different section there. That one has an easement. Yeah, you see a lane coming straight. Yeah, it could be. Yes, if there's enough there to be able to. The existing one, it goes all the way back into the woods. And everybody will be using that to easement for the 2 lots on the top. Nothing changes, no extra houses, no extra buildings. All we're doing is taking ownership from my mother. She split it up 3 ways to her kids. So nothing changes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in favor of the application, please indicate that you want to speak. Anybody in opposition to the application now has an opportunity to speak. Okay, thank you. Oh, there's Article 4, Section 405 of the zoning resolution states the Board of Zoning Appeals may authorize variance from the terms of this resolution stated in Section 403B, where the board has made finding of fact based upon the standards set in the subsection 40504 of this resolution. The staff report has addressed each of those standards. Any member of the board or audience that's sworn in has any additional questions pertaining to section 405 or the request in general? Okay. At this point, we'll close the public hearing and let the record reflect that it's 7:31. I don't think executive session is needed, is it? Okay. All right. It's new to me. Let's see. You want to do let you
Sure.
read the standard?
Sure.
We do
Yeah,
vote
we can do that.
call on that.
Mhm.
Please do that.
Standard for variances, the board shall not grant a variance unless it shall, in each specific case, make specific findings directly based upon the particular evidence presented to it that support conclusions that A, the variance requests arise from special conditions of or involving the property which are unique, that is, a situation which is not ordinarily found in the same zoning district, and that the situation results from the enforcement of this resolution and not by an action or actions of the property owner, the applicant, or in any other persons or party who has had control of the property. A motion?
Well, we normally don't do motions, you just do a roll call, we vote, then we continue to the next standard.
Okay.
So,
Pete?
yes,
Adam?
Yes to grant.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
The strict application of the provisions of this resolution from which a variance is requested will not constitute unnecessary hardship upon the property owner representing the application. Pete?
yes,
Adam?
Yes to grant.
Joe?
Yes to grant.
Marty?
Yes.
C, the variance desired will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or morals. Pete?
yes,
Adam?
Yes to grant.
Joe?
Yes to grant.
Marty?
Yes.
The variance desired will not compromise the general spirit and intent of the resolution. Pete?
yes,
Adam?
Yes to grant.
Joe?
Yes to grant.
Marty?
Yes.
Is there a motion to grant or deny case 2022-61 LSV as presented or with any stipulations the board should choose to impose?
I make a motion to grant.
Second that.
did you get that?
Yeah.
Do a roll call on that,
Mhm.
please.
Any stipulations? No? Okay. Pete?
Yes to grant,
Adam?
Yes to grant.
Joe?
Yes to grant.
Marty?
Yes to grant.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second that.
no, that's the last, no, we don't,
This is for this part of the case. We adjourn each of them.
At this point, before we go to the next hearing, I want to go to old business to help out Mark here. He gave us copies of the March hearing. So if you had an opportunity to review that, if there are any comments you'd like to make a correction. So somebody please make a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Do it by, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passed. So now we go to the second case. So I gotta go through the script again, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The purpose of this public hearing is to review case 2022-61 LSB filed by Burkhardt Engineering Agents for Donna Jean Gaffety for the property located 9015 Germantown, Middletown Pike, Germantown, Ohio, German Township, Montgomery County. Applicants requesting to split this property for estate planning purposes. Nothing will change with the use of the land. As members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, it is our duty to review these cases at public hearing, render a decision for or against the request based on the application, staff report, testimony, and evidence presented and heard at this public hearing. All testimony during this hearing is required to be under oath. I will ask anyone that wishes to present testimony, raise their right hand for swearing in. So this is for the second case, which is.
This is for the, to
conditional
split,
use.
yes.
So anybody that wants to testify, please indicate, and we'll swear you in. Thank you. So introduce the case. Please do a staff report on that.
The applicant is Donna Jean Guffey. The property is known as 9815 Germantown Middletown Pike. The property is located in the northwest quarter, further described as being Part 24, Town 3, Range 4 East, Parcel D 14 00904 0001 2 3 5 9 96 140 143 and 144, German Township, Montgomery County, Ohio, containing 152.080 acres. Every effort has been made to address the conditions set forth in section 406.05 of the current zoning resolution. You will note the format of this report is in review of section 406.05. In accordance with Article 4, Section 404.03, the public notice was published in the Germantown Press on the 9th instead of the 2nd, because as I stated before, they did not publish it on the 2nd, but it was also published in the Middletown Journal on the 5th. And it was sent to local residents on May 26th that are within 300 feet. Application, plot plan, survey, copy of the deed, new legal description, list of neighbors within 300 feet has been submitted. Lot size, development, and standards. The property contains 152.080 acres. Applicant is requesting permission to split the property into 3 lots for estate planning purposes. Tract 1 would be 55.087 acres with an easement from Tract 3. Tract 2 would be 65.698 acres, and Tract 3 would be 31.156 acres and also contain the current house and outbuildings. The property will still continue to be farmland. The variance has been previously approved for the frontage on Tract 1 and 3. A conditional use permit is required to allow a subdivision of this nature because the property is located in prime agriculture area of an A district. Following the guidelines established in Section 803A, single-family residential lots less than 20 acres which comply with the following standards, the minimum lot area shall be 2 acres with a minimum road frontage of 250 acres and a maximum lot depth from the center line of the road not to exceed 3 times the lot width. Lot size, development standards. This land has been farmed and a single-family dwelling is already established. Utility and draining factors, the existing home has proper drainage already in place. Nothing is changing with it. Access roads and traffic flow standards, a driveway already exists for the current home, and there is also currently access to remaining land that will be used for agricultural purposes. Licensing and permits, the Board of Zoning Appeals issues no special license or permits required for construction of single-family residential uses. All special license or permits are to be issued by the appropriate agencies. Prior to all construction, should there ever be any, all building permits must be obtained from Montgomery County Building Department, as well as zoning permits must be obtained first from German Township. Exterior lighting. Artificial illumination is not a factor when considering single-family residential use. Any lighting will not be directed onto any adjoining property. Location, size, and intensity. The lot proposed is to be used for single-family residence use, and as such location, size, intensity must be taken into consideration. Lot size requirements have been met. Location, nature, and height of the structure. All building areas for single-family residential and accessory use structures are limited to 40 feet in height in the A district. A single-family residential structure 40 feet has not been or will be exceeded, nor would a zoning certificate be issued for structures exceeding the height limitations unless it is in an agricultural district. Public health, safety, and morals. The nature of the area in which this property is located is a mixture of residential combined with agricultural uses. The applicant's request is concurrent with our primary something got cut off. The applicant's request is concurrent with our primary, I don't know. Section 803 of the current zoning resolution is very specific in defining splits within prime agricultural district. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the property within the scope of those requirements.
All right. Is Michael still on?
It would be the same thing that he would be presenting.
Basically, the testimony that he's already provided.
Yes.
Will be
Yes.
same. All right, is there anybody here that wants to testify in favor of this conditional use application? May speak. Anybody in opposition? No, may speak. Okay. Again, I'll review Article 4, Section 40604. The Board of Zoning Appeals may not grant a conditional use unless specific findings are made supporting the standards established in Article 4, Section 40604 of the Germantown zoning resolution. Staff report has addressed each of those standards. Is there any other board member or the audience have any other question? Please stand and come to the podium.
Deputy Smith.
Advocate. All right, I have to swear you in. Do you swear to tell the
I
truth,
swear.
the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Say I do.
I do.
Okay, proceed.
My question is, I just need a little clarification. I apologize, I've not had a chance to do, but I would like to know how many homes did we,
Ask the questions to us, not
I'm
to
asking
the.
that you probably don't, I don't mean to be smart here, but it says there's four lots with a plan to potentially do homes no higher than 40 feet, is that correct? So, but we don't have the answer of what is being the intent in the future, how many homes will be put back there? Because we know we have some water issues in the area, and so that's our primary concern. If in the future, there's going to be many houses put there, and I'm not against houses being put there, and that's a family we love very much, but we need to know how many homes would potentially be on that land in the future that potentially directs our water back to the neighbors. That's my question, and if you guys can answer, I would love. It
We
kind of,
appreciate the input. We appreciate your.
There was no mention of any homes. Like Sean said, they're just splitting it for estate purposes. There was no mention of building any other homes or anything on the property. They were splitting it for the estate purposes for the children to have their own land.
okay.
That's
I was just hearing subdivision.
So if that's
Just
part
start
of,
getting a little
that's
dicey.
part of everything, like.
The other thing about German Township is you have to have at least, was it 2 acres for a residence? That's the limit. And it's based on water and sewer requirements. So you're not gonna have a plat coming in. It is, zoning prohibit that.
Appreciate that. 2 acres, so I don't think 2 acres is gonna be.
They just
Yeah, so that's where, we're just needing some clarification from the neighbor standpoint as to what the intent is.
Okay. If there are no other questions, I'm going to close the public hearing for the conditional use at 7:45. I don't think there's a need to go to
I
executive
think
session.
we should briefly.
Pardon?
I think we should briefly.
I go,
Yes.
okay, we're going to go to executive session. At this point, we're going to go into that room and have a private session, and then we'll come back out, continue the hearing. So we'll go in at 7:45.
Do we need to make a motion to go into executive session?
We just did.
It's closed session. But
Okay.
it's different session.
Anybody want a second?
I'll say.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, we reopen this at 7:48. And would someone like to make the motion, please?
Yeah, I think I'll make the motion and then we can. But I'll move that we accept this conditional use with the restriction that no houses be built on the land to build houses on the land. Natural resources and all the
Is there a second?
Second that.
Okay, do a roll call on that, please.
Okay. Pete,
Yes to grant with the conditions.
okay. Adam,
Yes to grant with conditions.
Joe,
Yes to grant with.
Marty.
Yes, to agree with.
All right. That hearing is closed. We'll do standards.
We need to do that.
We need to go back and do the standards.
I mean, I think
We
so.
didn't do the standards. We'll do the standards.
The board shall not grant a conditional use unless it shall, in each specific case, make specific findings of facts directly based upon the particular evidence presented to it that supports conclusions that A, the proposed conditional use will comply with all applicable resolutions of this resolution, regulations to this resolution, including lot size requirements, development standards, and use limitations. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
B, adequate drainage or adequate utility, drainage, and other such necessary facilities have been or will be provided. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
C, adequate access roads or entrance and exit drives will be provided and will be so designed as to prevent traffic hazards and to minimize traffic conflicts and congestion in public streets and alleys. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
D, all necessary permits, license for the use and operation of the conditional use have been obtained or evidence has been submitted that such permits are obtainable for the proposed conditional use on the subject property. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
All exterior lights for artificial open air illumination are so shaded as to avoid casting direct light upon any property located in a residential district. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
F, the location and size of the conditional use, the nature and intensity of the operation involved or conducted in connection with it, the size of the site in relation to it, the location of the site with respect to streets giving access to it shall be such that it will be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the district in which it is located. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
G, the location and nature and height of building structures, walls, and fences on this site and the nature and extent of landscaping and screening on the site shall be such that the use will not unreasonably hinder or discourage the appropriate development, use, and enjoyment of adjacent land, building, and structures. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
The conditional use desired will not adversely affect the public health, safety, and morals. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
The conditional use will not compromise the preservation of farmland and will not adversely affect the adjacent farmland, including existing fields and drainage systems. Pete,
Yes.
Adam,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Is there a motion to grant case
Did we do that?
We should do
Yeah,
it.
let's
Yeah.
redo it.
2022-61 lot split as presented or with any stipulations the board may choose to impose, which the stipulation was no building
No,
without coming back to the board for permits, correct?
no residential development without coming back to the board. Do the roll call.
Pete,
Yes to grant with conditions.
Adam,
Yes. To grant.
Joe,
Yes. Sir.
Marty. Okay,
And now we go to the case. I'm screwed for this one.
just a minute. Just a minute, yeah. And I have all the maps and stuff so I can put it back with this.
Are we going to this?
We're going to Gilbert.
Yeah.
Okay. You should have. I can share mine with you. Call the meeting to order at 7:55. Roll call, Pete,
Here.
Valerie, Adam,
Here.
Joe, Rachel, and Marty.
I read that.
Mhm.
Okay. Purpose of this public hearing is to review case 2022-62 LS filed by Burkhardt Engineering, agent for Chad and Lucy Gilbert Family Living Trust, for property located at 8186 Farmington Road, Germantown, Ohio, German Township, Montgomery County. Applicant requesting to split off 4.57 acres containing the house and the barn from 43.741 acres. The remaining 39.168 acres will continue to be for agricultural use. All members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, it's our duty to review this case at public hearing and render a decision for or against the request based on the application, staff report, testimony, evidence presented and heard at public hearing. Skip all that, we've done that. So can you now introduce case 2022-62 LS and ask for a review of the staff report?
Chad and Lucy Gilbert Family Living Trust. The property is located at 8186 Farmington Road, further described as being part section 20, town 2, range 5 east, parcel number D140081400004, German Township, Montgomery County, Ohio, containing 43.741 acres. Every effort has been made to address the conditions set forth in section 40605 of the current zoning resolution. You will note the format of this report is a review of section 406.05. In accordance with Article 4, section 404.03, the public notice was published in the Germantown Press on the 9th because they did not publish it on the 2nd as was requested, and also published in the Middletown Journal on June 5th. And it was sent to local residents on May 26th that were within 300 feet. Application, plot plan, survey, copy of deed, new legal description, list of neighbors within 300 feet has been submitted. Lot size, development standards. The property contains 43.741 acres. Applicant is requesting permission to split off 4.573 acres containing the existing house and the barn. Remaining 38.168 acres will stay as is currently, which is agricultural. A conditional use permit is required to allow a subdivision of this nature because the property is located in prime agricultural area. Following the guidelines established in this section, a single-family lot less than 20 acres, which comply with the following standards, the minimum lot area shall be 2 acres with a minimum road frontage of 250 feet and a maximum lot depth from the center line of the road not to exceed 3 times the lot width. This land has been farmed and a single-family dwelling is already established. Utility and drainage factors. The existing home has proper drainage already in place. Nothing is changing with it. Access road and traffic flow standards. A driveway was already exists for the current home, and there is also currently access to the remaining land that will be used for agricultural purposes. Licensing and permits. The Board of Zoning Appeals issues no special license or permits required for construction of single-family residential uses. All special licenses or permits are to be issued by the appropriate agencies prior to all construction, should there ever be any. All building permits must be obtained from Montgomery County Building Department, as well as zoning permits must be obtained first from German Township. Exterior lighting and artificial illumination is not a factor when considering single-family residential use. Any lighting will not be directed onto any adjoining property. Location, size, and intensity. The lot proposed is to be used for single-family residential use, and as such, location, size, intensity must be taken into consideration. Lot size requirements have been met. Location, nature, and height of structures. All building areas for single-family residential and accessory use structures are limited to 40 feet in height in the A district. As single-family residential structures, 40 feet has not been or will be exceeded, nor would a zoning certificate be issued for structures exceeding the height limitation unless it is an agricultural use. Public health and safety. The nature of the area in which the property is located is a mixture of residential combined with agricultural uses. Everything is concurrent with our primary factors concerning public health, safety, and morals. Section 803 of the current zoning resolution is very specific in defining splits within prime agricultural areas. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the property within the scope of those requirements.
So is Michael still on?
He is. I don't know if he's got testimony or not.
Is Burkhart online? The applicant being represented by Mr. Burkhart Engineering. Do this again.
Just want to say there's no testimony from him.
All right, at this point, we're gonna assume no testimony.
This is Mike Novine with Burkhart.
You back?
Do I need to be sworn in?
Yeah, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So say I do.
I do.
Okay, proceed with any testimony you'd like to give.
As applicant for the owner, his intention is to create a separate parcel for the, residential use with the barn, meeting the requirements of the township for the conditional use, and to continue the agricultural use for the remaining property. There's nothing in addition that we're requesting at this time. We have received Butler County Health Department approval for this split, and pending the board's approval, it would move forward through the standard process for creating the lot.
Or any maps that he provide?
I'm available to answer any questions if you have any.
I have one question. On the case that you filed, it says there will be a remaining 39.168 acres. And on our staff report, it says it's 38.168 acres. Which one is correct?
Oh, that was probably.
There is a slight difference between the recorded deed acreage and our survey acreage. So I would go with what the acreage is on the survey, because that's what it's going to be recorded as if this comes to completion.
Thank you. I also have one question, and it might be just something that I don't, but why would you get approval from the Butler County Health Department?
Or not Butler County, Montgomery County, I'm sorry if I misspoke. Thank you for catching that. Sorry about that.
Is there currently someone living in that home?
That I do not have that information. I don't know if anyone else from the owner is in attendance that would be able to testify regarding that.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you. Anybody here that wants to speak in favor of the conditional use application, please indicate that you want to speak in favor. Anybody wants to speak in opposition, please note. No? Okay, thank you. Okay. Gotta do that one again. Review of Article 4, Section 40604. The Board of Zoning Appeals may not grant a conditional use unless specific findings are made supporting the standard established in Article 4, Section 40604 of the German Township zoning resolution. The staff report has addressed each of those standards. Are there any additional questions by either the BZA or anybody in the audience? Gonna close the public hearing at 8:05. And do we need an executive session? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion? Make a motion to grant.
Motion to standards. Standards.
What's that?
We have to vote on the standards first.
Right, thank you. Do the standard.
The board shall not grant a conditional use unless it shall, in each specific case, make specific findings and facts directly based upon the particular evidence presented to it that support conclusions that A, the proposed conditional use will comply with all the applicable regulations of the resolution, including lot size requirement, development standards, and limitations. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty? Adequate utility, drainage, and other such necessary facilities have and will be provided. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
Adequate access roads or entrances and exit drives will be provided and will be so designed as to prevent traffic hazards and to minimize traffic conflicts and congestions in public streets and alleys. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
All necessary permits and licensings for the use and operation of the conditional use have been obtained, or evidence has been submitted that such permits are obtainable for the proposed conditional use on the subject property. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
All exterior lights of artificial open-air illumination are so shaded as to avoid casting direct light upon any property located in a residential district. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
The location and size of the conditional use, the nature and intensity of the operation involved and conducted in connection with it, the size of the site in relation to it, and the location of the site with respect to streets giving access to it shall be such that it will be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the district in which it is located. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
The location and nature and height of building structures, walls, and fences on the site, and the nature and extent of landscaping screening on the site shall be such that the use will not unreasonably hinder or discourage the appropriate development, use, and enjoyment of adjacent land, building, and structures. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
The conditional use desired will not adversely affect the public health, safety, and morals. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty?
Yes.
Conditional use in the A agricultural district will not compromise the preservation of farmland and will not adversely affect the adjacent farmlands, including existing field drainage systems. Pete?
Yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Marty? Is there a motion to grant?
No, I want to go into executive session.
Move that we go into closed session. Yeah. Move that we go into session.
Okay, a second? Okay,
All in favor, say aye.
ish, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I'll have to see.
Okay.
Reopen the case at 8:12. So someone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion this time to grant.
Do a roll call on that.
Pete?
Yes to grant.
Adam?
Yes to grant.
Joe?
Yes to grant.
Marty?
Yes, to grant.
Okay, what's next?
So we're granting the
Conditional,
conditional use, no stipulations?
no stipulation.
Okay, perfect. And
All right, now we go to the next case. Call the meeting to order. It's case 2022 appeal. Can you do a roll call, please?
Pete?
Here.
Valerie? Adam?
Here.
Joe? Rachel? Marty Cox?
Purpose of this public hearing is to review case 2022 appeal filed by Brian Ritzie for property located at 8219 Wind Dancer Road, Germantown, Ohio, German Township, Montgomery County. Applicant filed a permit application for a home to be built on this property. As members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, it is our duty to review this case at public hearing and render a decision for or against the request based on the application, staff report, testimony, and evidence presented and heard at the public hearing. All testimony during this hearing is required to be under oath. Anybody that wants to speak, wishing to present testimony may raise their right hand. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the
Well,
truth?
let's make sure
Say
we
I do.
find out how many people raising their hands.
Okay, say I do. All right. Delivery. Thank you. All right, you'll be asked to state your name and current address at the time you address the board. Please wait until you're recognized by the chair before speaking. Everybody will be given an opportunity to voice his or her concerns or comments in an orderly fashion. Introduction of the case 2022 appeal. Ritzy, please do a staff report.
Okay. The applicant is Brian Ritzy. The property is located at 8219 Wind Dancer Drive, further described as being part section 20, town 2, range 5 east, parcel D1401 or 008140022, German Township, Montgomery County, Ohio, containing 7.947 acres. Every effort has been made to address the conditions of the zoning resolution for German Township. In accordance with Article 4, Section 404.03, the public notice was published in the Germantown Press on the 9th, not the 2nd, because they forgot to publish it, and also on the 5th in the Middletown Journal, and it was sent to local residents on May 26th within 300 feet. Application, plot plan, survey, copy of the deed, new legal description, and list of neighbors within 300 feet has been submitted. The appeal. At first glance, I did not approve the building permit for Mr. Ritzy. After further review of the information at hand and the prior approval of the conditional use, I can see now that my decision to deny the permit was a mistake. A conditional use was approved on October 11th, 2017 for this lot. There was no stipulations put on this lot when it was split, and it was understood that homes were going to be built on the lots. This is family land, and the family wanted to build homes close to one another. There is 250 feet of frontage on Farmington Road and 50 feet of frontage on Wind Dancer Drive. Montgomery County has approved access from Wind Dancer Drive, giving Mr. Ritzy the address of 8219 Wind Dancer Drive. Mr. Ritzy is requesting to build a home on this property. Since the conditional use was approved with a lesser frontage, and this is now a lot of record, staff sees no reason why this appeal would not be approved. I did ask Mr. Ritzy to file a variance paperwork, although with further investigation of this case, the variance is not needed in this case because of the lot split already being approved in 2017. As the lot split in 2017, this is a lot of record, therefore the board approved the lot with the lesser frontage at that time. The plans Mr. Ritzy has submitted meet the requirements of the German Township zoning resolution. The well log and drilling report is on file, and the sewage treatment system plan is approved. All that is left is for Mr. Ritzy to receive the building permit from German Township in Montgomery County and start building his home. I do have, and everyone was given a letter that Mr. Ritzy wrote to myself and to the board members. And I also have the plans that were approved in 2017 with that lot split, if anyone would like to look at that. And you were given the paperwork from the county on the county website stating that there is frontage on Farmington and Wind Dancer. So the county did give the access. They gave an address for Wind Dancer, so they gave access for them to get to the property off of Wind Dancer.
All right, at this point, do we want testimony by the applicant or his agent? Please state your name and address the first time, please.
Yeah, Brian Ritzy, 10013 Carlisle Pike.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that sums it up pretty good. We have a parcel of land that was created actually by the BZA. Then we recorded it with the county. Next steps are when we're ready to build, come to the German Township zoning administrator, submit our permit to bid, which we did. It was denied. I wrote the appeal, which I hope you guys were able to read. Sums up a lot as well. Once that appeal was submitted, it was found out that it was a mistake denied. There's not much else I can say, I think, besides what was said. That at this point, we just want to build our house on the land that was specifically created to build on. Easy to do that. Standards for that. So I'm definitely able to answer questions. This is like, it's been 6 months of stuff, and I'm just kind of bit and slice here in about, 2 minutes. So there is a lot more to it. I'm happy to elaborate.
Questions?
Sorry, I know I looked at you a lot. You just said.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah, wind dams or bus.
and all of the homes in that neighborhood abide by restrictions, the restrictions on the property. Issues related to storage and wind. Do you intend to follow those restrictions?
Yeah, we've only ever tried to do what asked us to do. Something else. Thanks, sir.
Anybody that would like to present in favor of this application, please indicate that you want to speak. Come to the podium. State your name and address, please.
James Rowland, 10017 Carlisle Pike. I'm Brian's brother-in-law. I was at the meetings in 2017 when filed. There were concerns with the way lots were split at that time. They changed the layouts of the lots to meet guys' requirements, and it was approved with knowledge that there was going to be a house put here. So I guess it seemed to be summed up pretty well. But I just wanted to say it worked. And then I had one question. The question you just asked him was, is the house going to abide by elements, all of their building restrictions, basically? I don't know. Question was me.
That was a question.
I don't.
I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me.
Well, I don't know if it was put. I don't know. I just want to make sure if he understood what he said yes to. That
I'm not.
I can't address him. That's why I'm addressing you.
It's fine. If you'd like to come back, I don't know what the restrictions are, but my concern is that you have an entire road of houses
Yes.
that are subject to certain restrictions.
Yeah.
And if this road is going to be placed at the end of that, in my mind, it makes sense that this
I
would
understand.
also be subject.
Make sure that because they have a plan laid out with the house and everything, abide by that subdivision rules. I mean, it's not part of the subdivision, wasn't built as part of the subdivision. Road dead ends into property, and they have frontage on that road, so they're not technically part of the. Just wanted to make sure the question was clear. That's all. Thank you.
Anyone else in favor of the application?
Brian,
State your name again.
Yeah, Brian Ritzy, 10013 Carlisle Pike. You're right, I did not fully somebody's writing here. I did not fully understand that question. Yeah, so and honestly, to be quite frank, I'd rather keep this to what this is about. It's an appeal to the denial to build. I don't want to anything about future anything. This is just an appeal to denial to build. not part of that plat, and that has been expressly, written by. We do not have to. Building wise, that we, in that plat, so. Maybe I'm fully understanding. But anyway, I'd really just like to keep it to appealing denial to build. And this is our plot plan and see what we're to be built. Any questions? Okay,
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yep, I think she does that. But why? For this?
Because you just said that you've seen what we do.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, no, I see what you're saying. You just want to see it. Okay, cool. I can see it right here. Anybody else have a question? Okay, awesome, thanks.
Anyone else like to speak in favor of the application, please indicate. Anybody in opposition would like to speak? At this point, I'll close the public hearing and then we'll go to the standards.
I don't have standards for this one.
We don't have standards.
No. No. Is there any further discussion or comments from the board? Is an executive session needed?
No.
Okay. The board shall make the decision to grant or deny the appeal based on the information presented. Is there a motion to grant case 2022 appeal Ritzy as presented, or with any stipulations that the board chooses to impose?
I have a motion to grant.
Okay. Pete,
Yes to grant.
Adam,
Yes to grant.
Joe,
Yes to grant.
Marty.
Yes to grant.
All right. We are done. Motion to adjourn.
No, we gotta ask the question first.
Oh.
Is there any new business?
Oh, is there any new business?
Do you have any pending cases?
No.
Okay, now, somebody like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Do not leave. We gotta sign the decisions.